What's going on, guys? I wanted to make a quick video on a couple of questions I've got in the past couple weeks, actually quite a lot. And I've got a video on setting up your tubs, but even with that I'm still getting questions on it about how thick should my substrate be, should I case it, how thick should my casing layer be. And I use quite frequently these 20-quart sterlite gasketed tubs. They're really nice. And I've got my ruler here, and I hope you can kind of see that. And I've already got my tubs marked out with my permanent liner, but I did find, and I can see it, it's hard to see in the video, but found the bottom of the grain line. And as you can see here, this is what I try to shoot for. 3 inches. You want at least 2 on your substrate, on your thickness. And for these 20 quarts, I use at least, I use a lot of grain, everyone. I use at least 2 full quart jars, and I use popcorn. That seems to work really well for me, and I like it. It's easy prep and works really well. And I'll have about an inch thick of popcorn for my grains, and I will case it very thinly. I mean, just enough literally to cover your grain layer. Just enough. You want to cover it, but very thin on your casing layer, 1/4 inch max. And as you can see there, how it came out right at my modification holes, and that's really where you want it. That'll be good airflow. And I've got 2 fans running in my grow room at all times, and my little air purifier. So we've got a lot of air movement in here. Like I said, that's what you want, everyone. About 3 inches on your substrate, and you want at least 2. And they do shrink up quite a bit. That's, as you can see here, the difference in this one. This is only a few days spawning to this tub. And as you can see the difference in these two, how this one has shrink up quite a bit more than this one. Well, this one's been in action a few more months, so they shrink up quite a bit, which is why you want a decent little layer of substrate as your starting point. And like I said, I try to shoot for about 3. You want at least 2. And 2 would still give you a decent little cake. If you need to stretch some substrate or whatever, that's perfectly fine. But yeah, you want at least 2, because these cakes, they will shrink up quite a bit. And that's about it on how thick you want your substrate, and about how much grain to use or whatever. The more grain you use, the more mushrooms you will come up with. I use quite a bit of grain myself. As I said, at least 2 full quart jars in my 20 quarts. In my 32s, I will use about 4, at least 4 quart jars, maybe 5. I use quite a bit of grain, but it seems to work out well with these tubs and the grain to substrate ratio. And just as long as you got a nice thick substrate on them, it really doesn't matter how much grain you use. And like I said, just your very thin casing layer, just enough to cover your grain layer. And I don't do the multiple layer thing. I don't find that to be as efficient or effective as just doing your substrate, then your grain layer, and then your thin casing. But that's it for this video, and Like I said, I've gotten that question quite a bit in the past few weeks, so I hope this answers a few of your questions, and make sure to like and subscribe. I hope these videos help you guys, and until next time.